So on your practice quiz, I wanted to go through a couple of problems with you. And the we can go over as many as you want. I just want to start with these. Numbers 1 and 2 to me seem like the perfect way to introduce the idea of when should I show my work and when should I not. So if I have -4 times the square root of 54, and I know I kind of said this before I left, but 54 we all agree is not on the red list. Therefore, the first thing we do right away is that. Every time. Two branches, two empty square root signs. And then you scour your mind, your paper in front of you, whatever you want until you find the numbers that multiply to make 54 that have the biggest red list number. What are they? That is correct. 9 times 6, it's actually the only number that goes into 54 that's on the red list. If you look at your list of factors, you would see 2 times 27, which of course does us no good because neither one's red listable. There's 3 times 18, which again does me no good. And I think that's it, other than the one that you're looking for, which is 6 times 9. And 6 times 9 is the winner. And it's not like 9 is a glorious number, but we're going to take whatever we can get here. And so the fact that it has a 9 is a win. So this is work I should see on your papers. And then what's the square root of this 9? So if it weren't for this pesky number up here with the yellow circle around it, then 3 root 6 would be the answer. But what do we do with these two yellow numbers?
Times them.
You multiply them together. Exactly. And when you multiply them, then you just get a normal number. So we're going to get -12. And then the root of 6 is still on there like that. So this is what I expect on most problems. I expect to see this much work. I'm interested in your answer, obviously. That's really important. But I'm also interested in you flexing on me and showing me that, hey, I got this process down pat. Now, on the other side of that, there's number 2. And I honestly don't know that you could convince me that there's even a way to show work on problem 2. Problem 2 is just the square root of 144, which I can't show work. I just put 12. I mean, so look at the stark difference between showing work on some problems and not showing work on others. And it's okay. Sometimes you're going to come across on the quiz, you're going to come across a couple that they're just ready to go, right? So, are there others that you want to go over? I mean, I can pause this and come back to you, but I know I was gone a few minutes. Are there any that you just already know you want some help with? All right.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pause it. And then when you guys are like, hey, can we go over this or this? Then I'll unpause and get it on there. Deal? And by the way, the answer key is on Canvas. So use it wisely. Okay. Check your answers when you're done and let me know if you have any questions.
Can I ask you one off-topic question? What's it? Where? Instead of
I can say this, that the people
I know. Oh yeah.
that are going to get the best scores on the quiz tomorrow
Me.
are going to be the people who understand
Mhm.
how insanely, stupidly important these numbers are. And it took me so many years of teaching before I figured out how to flip this on its end. What I used to have my students do was divide by numbers on the red list. Divide by 4, well, not in this case, obviously, but by 9 and divide by, and what I've learned is that it's actually oftentimes quicker to attack this little baby trash list. And so, first off, 245 is obviously not on the list, the red list. And so we're going to make branches and 2 roots. Before I even start the problem, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to start chipping away, dividing by the numbers on this purple list. And what did you find?
Nothing, but I have another think about it.
Sure.
Does it not matter if it doesn't have a number in front?
Well, let me get back to that question after we're done, and then I'll show you what it means. The number in the front. So
That are even.
I agree with you on this one. Caden's got the right idea here. Like you and I both know since we're in high school that nothing that ends in a 5 can divide by 2. It cannot divide by a 6 because 6 is even. Anything you multiply by 6 is going to end in an even number. It can't be divided by 10. So like, we're not going to waste our time trying those. So why don't you just start right at 3? You didn't if you divided by 3. Good. So you tried 3 and it didn't work. And then when you divided it by 5, you were like, this is awesome because if I put a 5 here, then this number, the 5 was never what we were looking for. The 5 was a means to the end. And the end is that 49, that big, beautiful 49. What's the square root of 49?
7.
Mhm. So the square root of 49 is just 7. And then the square root of 5, there's nothing I could do with that. So I just copy it down. Now, to answer your question from a minute ago, would anything have changed if I had put a number here like -2? The answer is, well, not really. I mean, how we did the root thing with the tree and all that wouldn't have changed one iota. But what would change is at the end, this 7 that we just broke out of jail would then multiply by this -2 that was already broken out of jail at the beginning of the problem, right? Do you see that? So then I would just get a different answer. Like if there had been a number there, then I would multiply them and my answer would just change like that. It's not a big deal, right? Okay. So if there's a number in front, don't change how you do business. Still make your little tree and do all the purple list, red list stuff, but it's no big deal.
7.
Number 7? Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't done. I have it on my paper. Um, Wait. Oh,
Violet, did you get the part where we broke it into 49 and 5?
yeah.
Then you're almost done. You just got to get the 49 to become a 7.
You just forgot the 5, which is you just copy it down. Yeah.
The square root of 8 is not, 8's not on the red list. So then we know that before we even start having a conversation about reds and purples that we're going to do that. Did you do that already? Okay. Now, this isn't a purple problem. This isn't one where I need to bust out the big guns. The purple list I generally reserve for bigger numbers that I know are a little bit scary. But like 8's just a little chump. What do you multiply to make 8? 4 times 2. And 4 gets the treatment of red, whereas the 2 is just the trash, right? And this is good news because 4 is on the red list, right? What's the square root of 4? So I get 2 root 2, but remember that would be the answer if that -3 weren't at the beginning, right? But because it is there, I can't ignore it. I have to multiply the -3 that started out as a free man and multiply him by the 2 that became a free man.
So -6 root 2.
So those are -6, and then we just stick on the root 2.
It's just like the same process, so you just have to multiply it by the
Bingo.
number and
Right. Nothing to it. Got a question? Or are you just scratching your back? Okay.
Let's go grab.
Number 12, I'm telling you right now, you have to make a choice right now, today. Only you can decide. Am I going to miss these kinds or am I going to not? And I want you to listen right now so that you can put yourself in the category of, okay, my teacher is straight up telling me this is going to be on the test. I better not miss this. Number 12 just looks like any other problem. But your job is before you start, and I know I'm always saying how you have to draw the branches and the roots. Before you do that, do me a solid. Look at 256. Is it on the red list?
Yeah.
What is the square root of 256?
16.
Right, not root 16, right? I heard you say root 16. The square root of 256 is quite literally just the number 16. And you would have to agree that that is now a free man. And I say free, I mean like the square root is like the jail. And 16's like, suckers, I broke out of jail. And then he's free and he multiplies by the 2 that's free. What do we get?
13.
Game over. I got to write a whole bunch of these tonight. Version 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Every version is going to have at least one problem like this. Like I'm going to put something on there like -4 or 10 times the square root of 49 and just see who's paying attention, right? What's the square root of 49? So the answer to this one would just be negative 10 times 7, right? So always be vigilant and check the red list first, because you might just get a freebie. You guys have other questions?
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, number 7. I can go through it again. I mean, it's just when you have the square, I shouldn't even be recording this because I've already recorded this once, so never mind.
She already has partially of it done.
Done, do we do anything or no?
I can tell you right now, because I'm in the process right now of writing your quiz for tomorrow. And as I'm sitting here, I'm going to cover a lot of the basic roots. Like you'll see a square root of 32, you'll see a square root of 80, you'll see the basics, the ones we've gone over a million times. But I want you to know also that I'm going to put some on there like this.
Mhm.
And if you're not prepared, if you're not familiar with how to use the little purple list, then you're going to really struggle with a problem like this. So the key to a problem like this is to not look. There's only like 3 of you listening, and you guys, by the way, are awesome. So the key here is to go and attack this list. And I think I've written this list, oh gosh, 20 times or so in the last few days. And so what you want to do is first off, check on your calculator and just see, can I take the square root of 588? It won't be on quote unquote the red list because ours doesn't go that far, but it might still be a square rootable number. It's not. So that's when you go branch, branch, root, root. But I'm telling you this for those of you listening, that several of the questions on the quiz I'm writing with this in mind. What do I do when it's a big old number like this and I don't know where to start? You start dividing by purple numbers, correct? And what you do is you type into your calculator, you type in 588 divided by 2, and you get 294. And you realize 294 is not on the red list. And so you go back to the drawing board and you try the next one. So you say, well, 2 didn't work. So we tried dividing it by 3. And when I divide it by 3, I get 196. And I am going to write that one in red. Why would I do that?
It's on.
Because it's on the list. And so I've been trying to be consistent as your teacher with when I write it in red, I want you to pay attention. What is the square root of 196? It is not.
60.
It is not.
Wait.
30.
By the way, when I ask you these questions, the answers are right in front of you. And I know most of you are like starting to mentally check out because class is almost over. But yeah, I mean, the answer to my question is on a piece of paper that's still sitting in front of you, or should be. You have a list that has every square root on it. I gave it to you. The square root of 196 is 14. So I don't have any idea how well that point got across, but I need you to be aware that some of the problems on the test I'm writing by very purposely taking a little purple number, multiplying it by a big red lister, and then sticking that on the quiz for you to break apart. So you should be aware of that. Okay. But again, a lot of the basics made it to this note card. The ones we keep seeing, you know, the 32, the 48, the 60, the 80, the ones that we just keep seeing over and over again.